what is going on? We're getting this video out the way straight away in the morning. You know, getting it done how we're supposed to get it done. I got a busy day today. Got to study Excel all day today. Just a bunch of stuff that I am not necessarily wanting to delay. And one of these videos, not videos, but the video takes up a pretty good amount of time of my day, like 20-30 minutes out of my day, and my time is pretty precious. So I like to spend it wisely, if that makes sense. Let's get into today's gospel real quick. I'm currently in a trade right now, so we're a floating profit. We've been short for a while. But yeah, gospel comes from Luke. While still more people gathered in the crowd, Jesus said to them, "This generation is an evil generation. It seeks a sign, but no sign will be given it, except the sign of Jonah. Just as Jonah became a sign to the Ninevites, so will the Son of Man be to this generation. At the judgment, the queen of the south will rise, and the men of this generation, and she will condemn them, because she has came from the ends of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon, and there is something greater than Solomon here. At the judgment, the men of Nineveh will rise with this generation and condemn it, because at the preaching of Jonah they repented. There is something greater than Jonah here." I'm so confused. I have to GPT this. I genuinely have no idea what that means. I'm also like partially stressed out because I'm in this trade and it's just like, darn, you know what I'm saying? Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Come here. She's such a little ass rat. She's vocal. She's vocal. She lets you know when she doesn't not want to get, dealt with. I'm just gonna go to the conclusion of it. I'm gonna dig it one by one. Yeah, no, we're consolidating on ES and NASDAQ right now, which is inevitably going to mean a probably stop. In this passage of the Gospel of Luke, Jesus confronts a generation that keeps asking for proof while ignoring the truth already in front of them. By pointing to Joe, the repentance of Nineveh, and the journey of the Queen of Sheba to hear Simon, he makes one central claim: there's something greater here. The ultimate sign is not a spectacle, it's a resurrection and call to repentance. Well, that's like after the fact. The issue is not the lack of evidence, but the posture of the heart. Those who responded to a lesser revelation will stand in judgment over those who reject a greater light. When the truth is present, the responsibility is response. So I think that's kind of what he's kind of saying is, Jesus is like, I'm right here. I'm your Lord and Savior, and I'm right in front of you. How are you going to not deny me, but how are you going to, act like, we don't have X, like you're not seeing these things, which is kind of crazy to me. I don't understand how back in the day these people saw these crazy things happen and still did not have like faith in specifically Jesus himself. I mean, maybe it's because like I don't think you could really view God as a human form, and that's what is really controversial still to this day, is that God put himself into human form, which is imperfect, which is not how it's supposed to be. God isn't all perfect, all knowing, all like shaped around not person but entity that is perfect, and humans are unable to be perfect in that way. And that's why I'm kind of like, not even surprised, just like, that's why I could kind of understand how people had doubts back in the day, about things that they saw. But yeah, Jesus creates a very important point of, the truth is right in front of you. It's just, you're not even really trying to seek it, and that shows the person's heart, if they're open to certain change, if they're open to, different interpretations, or there's a a common thing with people within drug addiction. They don't want to get better. Like, it's almost like, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. I'm trying to think of an analogy kind of for this kind of thing. But, the person is so wrapped up in this drug induced lifestyle and in their own world to that extent, to the point where they just do not want to change. They don't need to change. They don't want to see another picture, that could possibly be, a different course of their life. And that's, I think that's kind of the same thing with G trying to say, I am the truth, the light, and the way, and I'm doing these things in front of you, teaching you how to live, healing the sick, performing these miraculous miracles, and I'm still being rejected. I don't think he's rejected, but I guess that's what you are. If you're not accepted, you're rejected. So yeah, that's a big central idea, especially with Jesus. Is the truth can be right in front of you. You're just not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to see it. You're not going to be able to accept it because of the way you are, because of the way your heart is. So you have to open up your heart to that, and you have to just get it done. Let's get into today's charts. So rallies off rip. Going into the day, we were down here, and we just started rallying off 9:30 open. I'm like, great. I literally am not longing this whatsoever. You cannot pay me to long this. You could have not. I don't care what someone would have told me, what someone would have done to me. I'm not longing. I was not longing this in any world whatsoever. First of all, the nearest point of liquidity is over here on ES. We're not even close. We're not even close to that liquidity point. We're way over here in Narnia. So ES is obviously more bearish, wants to retrace back in this daily fair value gap, which is my idea. And yeah, that was kind of the bias going today. So I was bearish. So Nasdaq's rallying. Get our 10 a.m. candle right there. Right here is what's it called? Our ES short. So we sweep out this high, get first presented. That's one thing I like to wait for, especially if we're like 9:30 creates a fair value gap, but I'm not looking at that. And we just consolidate, and then eventually we put in a first presented fair value gap. So I think we're just going to slowly rally here, slowly rally up. It just makes sense. Just people are trapped short. My stop is right around here. Yeah, right around here. For two cons running, so it's basically just my runners getting stopped out. I just can't hit full TPs, bro, and it's pissing me off. I can't hit full TPs on like either chart anymore. I don't understand why. Like the market does not just want to follow through with liquidity. Not even taking out 9:30 a.m. candle low. We just took out these relative equal lows and rally higher, which is why I took a bunch of partials. I'll explain in a second. I just want to get stopped out or not here. I'm about to get, it's about to be make or break. We're coming out of that 15-minute fair value gap on Nasdaq. It's pretty inevitable that we're going to get stopped out. Nasdaq wants those highs. There we go, bam. We are out of the trade. Right there, exit market and cancel, get out of everything. On the day, I can actually just pull it up on here. I should be able to. Bam, bam. Loki kind of pissed off because I'm just tired of not being able to hit full TPs on Nasdaq or ES. And it's just like nagging at me, like there's no reason for that junk whatsoever. How much did I even make today? 139, same as yesterday, so we're up about 309. Like I said, the risk was all screwed up too. Like, it's just a mess. I wasn't even fully confident in this trade, so I de-risked. But that's besides the point. All right, so we rallied up. We shifted below this low. And as soon as I see that, I'm like, okay, first presented here. We have another fair value gap here. We tapped into the double fair value gap, the lower one. This could be telling me that we want to head, lower. I want to see us give up this first presented. So I entered once here, once again in the middle of that fair value gap. Stop at this high right here, and I was short? Oh my gosh, I can't even do that. I think I was short 6. It's like, see what I'm saying? Like, when I take partials, it just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. That's a perfect partial, by the way. Perfect partial at that daily fair value gap. Ready? Bam. It's random. How many to short, bro? 1, 2, 2, and then 1. So 5. Not even. Okay, yeah. So 150 risk was the risk on the day. So I think that's a reasonable risk, 150. But it's like, dang, bro, I'm making pennies. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of just lame. But like I said, bro, I'm just gonna be consistent. I'm already, if you already think about it, like I only need $1,200 more to get to my profit target on the 25K. So it don't really matter how much time it takes. We don't get it done. So yeah, we get in this first run for value gap. We break lower right here. We come in back into the inverse. I take a short once you reject it. Of course, I have like the worst entry. So down here, one more, come up, tap in this order block, tap into this inverse for value gap, and then head lower. Take out a relative equal lows. That's one partial right there. Then we have a low. We have a high. If market is going to reverse, it's not gonna just rally up to this high, because I feel like that would kind of be that would not be how it works, if that makes sense. And then, so the most reasonable way the market's going to go up is if we take out this low, which will then enable us to sweep out this high. So then it would start a market maker buy model. So once we swept out this low again, I took off a con as well, and we rallied back to the upside. Market structure shifted, but we created a new low, and that new low tapped into our daily fair value gap. So I took another partial there, and then once you see if we have a high, market structure shift, a real one, and then now double for well, I guess just the fair value gap entry, probably back to the highs on NASDAQ. So yeah, in all reality, like, pennies made, pennies lost. But I'm not really worried about it. As long as I can get good trades and I can do it. As long as I can do it consistently. If you don't, the thing is, like, with risk management, it doesn't really matter how much you risk. If you're profitable, you're going to make money over time. Yes, if you make a dumb move and lose $500 in a day, you're going to be, more inclined to, bigger losses and smaller wins, which is not what you want. So, I think it's just about narrowing your trade frequency down, most of all, and then understanding, just literally trading the right way. That's pretty much it. Like, if you can trade the right way and understand, let's say, for example, like today, like, I knew I was not longing it, and I still won't long this right now. Probably it looks like good longs, but I just won't long it. And just establishing a one-sided bias is probably the number one most important thing, as I would kind of come to the conclusion of. And then, once we get a short opportunity, I was like, yo, let me find this. There's probably gonna be a double for value gap on the 15-minute or some kind of time frame. We're just gonna get into there, and that's exactly what we did. And ES happened to tap into the daily for value gap, which I really think we reject this right now and start going lower. Like, it just looks too, like, it just looks like we're too in a premium. Like, what are we even doing? We just rallied up. Like, there's nothing. There has been no sell side. Maybe it's been a balanced price run to the upside, but like I said, I'm not messing with this, bro. I'm not messing with it. Like, if I'm longs right now, I'm pretty scared. That's all I'm gonna say. So that would kind of lead me to shorts. But that's besides the point, man. That's besides the point. I need to start risking 250, because I would have had essentially maybe like a little bit more of a day, maybe like $100 more, so like a $230 day instead of a $130 day. But if you think about it, that $130 is times 2, so it is kind of in reality like a $300 day. But instead of a $200 day, it's like $400 day is 200 or whatever, bro. Don't matter. I'm lost. I did too much Excel the other day. I got class this morning. I'm not even trying to think about mathematics. But yeah. If we start dumping now, then that's going to be absolutely beautiful. And I won't even be mad about that, because that's just how it is, That is just how it is. But yeah. I feel like the one itch I have is, like, I feel like sometimes I'm not really progressing as fast as I could because of my risk. Like, say, for example, I shorted where I needed to. Shorted that inverse. So right there makes sense. Dang, bro, we are dumping. Of course we are. We come up in a first presented 2, it's like perfect, huh? I guarantee. Yep, there it goes. Wonder who got screwed out there. See, look, if I risk 7 cons and then I guess that's a good day. Like that's good. Like $400 day. But bro, like, maybe if I risk see, that's what I risked. And with all these damn partials, it comes down to $139. Which, what the heck? I don't understand how that makes sense. Yeah. That's all I got. 10:35. I'm gonna get to it. I got class at 12, and then I have 3 p.m. Zoom today. I'm not forgetting. Yeah, live on, be chill, and try to grow closer to God. If that makes sense, I feel like I haven't really been tapped into that. I haven't read my Bible. I haven't gone to church last weekend. I didn't do a lot of things that I think I should be doing and relating in my relationship with God. And how can I fix that? By taking action and not being lazy and wanting to actually build that relationship, continue to build it. But I swear it's just hard. It's so easy to get wrapped up in the material world, and then I swear the days be flying here. I don't I just study, I trade in the morning, I go to class, I study whatever, I'm hanging out with my boy, and then days old, playing the game, wake up next day, alarm. It's the same thing every day, and I like it, don't get me wrong, I like it, but this just kind of gives me a glimpse into the perspective of someone who works. Let's just say my parents, they're hardworking people. They wake up every day and go to work, and I just, you have to find, what I'm trying to say is you have to find enjoyment throughout your day. It's, if you don't, I feel like they just fly by so fast, and you're just wondering, where did all the time go? And that's just not a way to live. So as I get older and as I kind of mature into the person I'm going to be, it's about recognizing, using the most of your day, in any facet, doing everything 100%, doing everything with full intent, and then that it's easier with God. What I'm saying? If you go throughout your day with God, knowing that you're not even not essentially not essentially what am I trying to say? I'm not oh my gosh, no, just walk with, allow God to be in your life. And I'm kind of talking to myself, because it's I feel like he hasn't really been present, or I haven't been present in that relationship, just recently, just because due to my schedule and due to this world. So yeah, we're gonna keep thugging this grind. We're gonna keep getting it done. See what I'm saying? No, why don't you long this shit? First of all, double fair value gap gets disrespected. There's your market structure shift. I guarantee we're about to fill this fair value gap and head lower. And I'm not entering again because I'm done. But yeah, that's all I got. Stay safe. Oh my gosh, stay safe. Let God bless you. Open up your heart to him, and every day treat it like it's I don't want to say your last, but treat it to where the day's not just gonna fly by and you're gonna wonder where it went. I feel like that's a big thing, to kind of just live in the present and get it going. So that is all I got. It is Wednesday, February 25th. Wow, we're about to be in March, man. We're about to be in March. That's how it is. Peace out, stay safe, and God bless.